My name is Anne, and I've been fly fishing for about 2 years now. Mainly out on the mountains. In the summer, I go up to the high alpine lakes and catch cutthroats. But then, Colorado is all year round fly fishing because of the tailwater. So I do a lot of winter fly fishing as well, and which is really cold. Hand warmers are my best friends, and brutal, but you learn a lot. Let's see. So with a stealth approach, first of all, when you approach the water, first thing is you gotta look around, be observant, and do not walk right to the water. That's the one common mistake that I did when I first started. Just get so excited with the fly rod, got everything ready, just walk to the water, put it down, and of course that terrifying sight of all the fish fleeing away, you're done. You just go home at that point. So for me, I just have to watch around myself. Where would the fish be? So Heather, if you don't mind, click to the next slide. Okay, so for me, the three things that I would pay attention right away is that what sort of coverage do the fish have? The trees, the bank, the grass, the boulder, the current. And then where's the oxygen? The fish like to hang out where the oxygen is, because just like us, it needs to breathe. So if you can detect where the oxygen is, you know where the fish are, and don't walk right to it. So approach from the behind, but we'll talk more about that. And then what's available food supply? By looking around, you see things are flying, so dry fly is going to be on. If you don't see anything because it's cold, lift up a rock, see what kind of bugs they have, larvae, stonefly, and midges. So it all depends on the condition at that moment too, how cloudy it is. So if it's really dark and cloudy, then the fish doesn't need to hide as much. But if it's sunny, then they're probably hiding away from, underneath the bank or the trees, branches, logs. First of all, observe what's going on around you. Don't just walk right to the water. And then, so for the observation, now we're gonna lead to, as the water comes to view, like I mentioned, just have to study it, look for it. And the trout, sometimes I go right to the water, look around, don't think I see any fish, and then I walk right to it. And of course, the 22-inch trout just kind of fleed away. So just when you think you don't see any fish, they're there because they're well hidden. It's just, got blessed with their camouflage ability. And then if you don't see anything on the surface because they're not feeding on the surface, that means they're probably not on right now. The temperatures have changed, but they're there. So look for a deeper section where the drop off is, where the current bring it down, and that's where they're hiding. Sometimes they're in the bottom of the water as well. For me, when I come to the water, I stop talking to my friends. Sometimes people think, why don't I talk? Well, a lot of time I'm just in the back of my head, I know the trout can hear me, so I tend to whisper a lot. Sometimes I just turn my volume down. If I have a great conversation with my friends, we're about to set things up. I'm starting to set it up far away. Every steps that I make, whether on the side of the bank, whether into the water, I know right away. They can hear me, they can sense the vibration. And that's also important when it comes down to stealth, because you don't want to spook them with the crunch underneath your feet, your shoes, the rock, the splash. So all of that comes to consideration of being stealth. If you can avoid wading, do so, because in the summer the water is low. when you wade into the water, that create disturbance, and especially in still water situation too. If you're pocket fishing, the ripple is not too silent, so it's okay. It's more forgiving. But if you're fishing the high alpine lakes or the low water streams, try to avoid wading if you can. Get low. So, as we all know, trout are very tuned into things, what's going on within the field of vision that's in front and above them. Being able to stay low and get into the position where you can cast to feeding trout can make a big difference. I usually approach from the behind, knowing that I'm about to come up to a pocket or a good run. I always start from the back for the downstream first, making my way upstream. That's how I can avoid walking right into them. And then I would crouch down on my knees, or sometimes I just crawl. And then sometimes I would just hide behind a bush, which is very challenging because you can cast right into the tree or the bush. But all of that will help in the future once you advance yourself, get more comfortable. But using those objects will advance the ability to catch more fish. I promise you that. So for me, get low. Just when you think they can't see you, that rod tip, they see that shadow, they will run away. A trout with a deep cut bank available may lie under cover, waiting for a mule to drift by. So for me, in slow moving or still water that are shallower and have less structure, a trout will feel or see you approaching more easily from afar, therefore get low. In streams where the water alternates between fast riffle followed by long glides, your approach should be slow and stealthy as well. Unlike pocket water where your approach is more hidden and more forgiving by the turbulent seams, where the fish lie, the water surface is smooth without distortion. Oh yeah, if you hear strange noises in the background, that's the goat. My neighbor has goats, so it's okay. So next topic, take cover. Take advantage of anything around you, like willows, shrub, trees, bushes, because all of that will help you camouflage and blend in as well. In the wide open situation, you may need to stay farther back from the banks, keep very low, or make longer casts. Low light days is always your advantage. So you don't have to, be so, low light is, we all know that's in our advantage. But when it's sunny and bright, like high noon, then you may want to consider stay far away because they will see you. And when let's talk about casting. I'm not gonna go deep into casting, but in a situation where they can see you, I would avoid back casting. I would do a lot more of the roll casting, something that's lighter landing, because when you back cast and it go forward, it tend to land a little bit more violent. So with a roll cast, it lands a little bit more gentle. It lays down a lot more quietly.
And there's one question, which is actually a pretty good one, is like when you're getting low or you're crawling on your hands or your knees, do you you don't use any knee pads or anything, do you?
Well, to my advantage, I don't have any knee problem, but I know some people have injuries, whether from skiing or just have knee injuries. I would recommend bring a jacket and then use that jacket and put it down to the ground. Sometimes the sticks has spikes. You know, there's some crazy plants out there that has crazy thorn, and so an extra jacket is extra padding, or pants that has extra padding for the knees would be in your advantage. But for me, sometimes I wear my waders, so that's that's not a problem for me. I bring rain jacket and I put it down to help with the crazy rocks and spiky plants. So that would help too.
Thank you, An and Jen and Jackie. You guys are amazing. And I can't, from myself personally and through the community of United Way on the Fly, thank you three for just sharing your knowledge and your time and just allowing us to hear all your awesome knowledge and education. And this recording will be posted in about a week. Tomorrow, there'll be a blog post for Tuesday tips on with all of Jen's information. You can go back to the blog. For those that don't know, United Way on the Fly does have a website. It's UWOTF.com, and we have all of our blogs on there. You can click on blog and click on education, and there's just a slew of information. So that's on there as well. And Jackie's, her Alaska stuff will be the last 2 weeks of June. So you'll be seeing a lot of that with the blog post. And then On's has already been posted, but please feel free to just go back and look at her blog as well, or look at social media. And if you look at the hashtag UWOTF education, you can follow that hashtag and look it up. All of our educational posts are tagged with that. So it's a great way to kind of find all of that information. So again, thank you guys so much. And thank you to everyone who joined and the community, and y'all rock. So thank you.